7.4.2 says calculate the coordinates of t. In order to calculate the coordinates of t, which can be found in between b and g over here, we first need to calculate the gradient that is at t. So we can calculate the instantaneous gradient, meaning if we can approximate a straight line that passes through point t and we can find its gradient, then that would be the gradient at that point, and then we can use the first principle or the first derivative in order to find at what x value will we get that gradient. So we already know that, or we've been told from the information that the tangent to f at t is perpendicular to AE. So if the gradient of AE is 1 over 4, then the gradient of the tangent will have to be -4. So this is a trick that you can use whenever you know that two lines are perpendicular and you know the gradient of the other. All that you have to do is swap the fraction, so swap the 4 and the 1, and then change the sign. If it was negative, make it a positive. If it was a positive, make it a negative. So now that we know the gradient at that point t, we know what the instantaneous gradient is here. It's -4. Now we can use the first derivative, because we know the first derivative of a function describes its gradient. So the first derivative will be equal to -4. We are trying to find the value of that first derivative. And our equation originally, f of x, was x squared minus 2x minus 24, like that. So its first derivative is going to be 2x minus 2 is equals to -4. Then you can take the -2 to the other side. It becomes -2. Divide both sides by -2 and you get x is equal to or divide by +2 and then you get x is equals to -1, and -1 can be seen as approximated to this point over here between the origin and b, which makes sense. Then if our x is -1, our objective is to get coordinates. We still need the y value, so we need to find y when x is -1. So everywhere we see x here, replace it with -1, square, -2, -1, minus 24. Putting all that on your calculator will give you -21. And then you can say, therefore, the coordinates for t will be -1 and -21.